Alrighty, folks, welcome to our first YouTube video for the Iditarod coverage. This is the Mushing Alaska Podcast, and I'm one of the hosts. I'm Brendan Underwood, and my brother over here, Sean. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. I'm excited, dude. We're 4 hours and 45 minutes into the Iditarod. People are starting to think about when they're going to be camping out, taking the dogs a little snack, a little nap. And this is, hour five of the next 9 to 12 days. So excited.
So yeah, we're super excited to kind of just try out this YouTube stuff, and well, a little bit of background on us. My brother and I were born in Atlanta, Georgia, and I still live here in Georgia, and my brother lives in Alaska. That's kind of like the shortest version of everything. And we recently started a podcast. It's called Mushing Alaska. It's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Amazon Music. And we also have an Instagram, mushing.alaska.podcast, in addition to a Facebook page called Mushing Alaska. So we're just kind of getting things off the ground. And like the main purpose of what we're trying to do is talk about all the different aspects related to mushing, mostly of that in Alaska. We talk about some other areas as well, but it's mostly focusing on the mushers and the events that are happening in Alaska. Sean, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, we just want to be ambassadors for this mushing community and represent, you know, these amazing Alaskan Husky dogs that are just full of love and happiness and very contagious to all the people that are involved with it. Um, and we hope that you can learn something along the way and ask some questions, educate yourselves. There's a lot of people always have their opinion and they leave their comment on this and that, and it's like Brennan has been up here and seen this scene. I've been living it for 6 years, and you know if there's one thing I know, it's that these dogs love to run.
Amen. Amen to that. I'm just pulling up the map here where we're going to kind of be talking about the race. We've got all the different checkpoints kind of put in here on Google Earth. So we'll zoom in here on Willow, and it looks like we've got some of the weather going on here too. And yeah, this will kind of be some of what you'll see as we go through this. But a little more background, I just wanted to make sure that, like, who are we? Why are we talking about mushing? Obviously, we love it, but my brother was mushing for the last, what, 7 years? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I started in the fall of 2016. I ran the 2020 Iditarod, 2021 Iditarod. Been uh, took a little break from it this year, but I'm very still involved with the mushing community and always scheming of ways to get back into it. And if some people might not even know what the Iditarod is. It's 1,000 mile sled dog race. It's the longest sled dog race on the planet, and it typically takes about 9 or 10 days. The clock starts right when the first musher leaves, and whether or not the dogs are moving or if they're sleeping, clock's still running. So you, as a musher, you get the to decide the schedule. And typically, you run 50 to 60 miles at a time, rest for 4 or 5 hours, and do it again. Run 50 to 60 miles at 10 miles an hour. So, and a lot of the comments I get about these dogs, people always expect them to be bigger than they are. They're lean dogs. They're cross country runners. You got 14 dogs on one line pulling a relatively small load, so they don't need to be pulling with all their might like a big bodybuilder might. They are essentially just running in front of the sled once it gets moving. So that's why you get see them have a runner's body. These dogs are ranging from 40 to 70 pounds. Typically about 50 to 60 pound dog. It's not that big because they're runners. They have that lean runner physique.
Awesome,
This
man.
is just the tip of the iceberg here.
I was
I
gonna
don't want to
say,
get too
like,
lost in the weeds here. I'm just like, we're just a little intro video. Maybe you don't know, maybe you've never been around mushing before, right? This is something that's been around Alaska, not for the last 40 years, not for the last 100 years. It's been around Alaska for over 10,000 years, right? This is not something that is the Europeans came over and invented. It's been evolving and changing over the years. This is started with survival, right? That's what I mean by tip of the iceberg, Brennan. Started with
Oh,
people
okay.
trying to get around Alaska and hunt and get firewood and survive. And the best way to get around for thousands of years was these sled dogs that pull you around, and you could get pretty far pretty quickly compared to how long it would take to just be walking around in the snow in the winter. So this is a celebration of the history of the state and of and it's also you have these dogs that love to do what they want to do this. And so without this race being around, without mushing events being around, you wouldn't the Alaskan Husky would probably end up not existing anymore, right? Because there'd be no need. You have snowmobiles, right? So this is why we do the racing, is because people these dogs, we want them to stick around. It's part of Alaska. It's part of the culture. It's part of the history. And I just can't stress how excited and happy these dogs are to do this. And it goes without being said, but sometimes you just need to be reminded that I've never met a happier dog than an Alaskan Husky sled dog that gets to go and in a harness and pull a sled around. And it's imagine just living your best life. That's what these guys are doing.
Nice. So yeah, like Sean said, this is just the tip of the iceberg. As you can tell, Sean is very passionate. He's got the experience. I'm the one who essentially the way this idea came to mind is Sean and I literally we talk like two or three times every single day during the Iditarod. And we're always like just kind of gossiping about it, theorizing about it, coming up with all sorts of things. And so we just were like, well, what if we start a podcast? And then, like the Iditarod, we love the Iditarod website's coverage. It's awesome that they go behind the scenes. They have those different videos and interviews. We fully support their website, but we also wanted to kind of just do something else on our own as well. And so this is just the beginning. And so, without getting too lost in our first video, I'm going to go ahead and close us out. If you guys don't mind liking and subscribing us, that way
Like
you
and
can,
subscribe.
let's go. That way you can get all of our content. Our next video, we're going to kind of break down Willow and talk about just some of the things that go into that initial stage of starting the race. There's a lot of different things that are going on, both in the minds of a racer and in the dogs. Sean can talk about his experience. We can talk about strategy as we get into the first few stops as well. So, with that, we hope you guys enjoy. Give us some feedback. Let us know how we're doing. We're doing this because we love you guys. We love the sport. Sean, anything else to say before we sign off?
Like and subscribe. Love y'all.
Like and
Go get
subscribe.
ride, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go.